Hello there. Well, after another disappointing round one of a league, I maybe should play more games before starting these leagues, before recording. We're gonna go ahead and keep this. It's a bit on the sketchy side, uh, since we don't have a red source yet. But I figured with a lonely sandbar for cycling, and there's obviously various other things we can just draw that's good, like a red source. Thought we might be okay, but on the draw against Affinity again, maybe not. But it looks like this is one of the slow affinity draws, which are generally kind of beatable, unless it's the reason it's slow is because there's 4 Mirror Enforcers about to be played. So hopefully I'll be able to counterspell something more. Should I counter this? I feel like I should probably save it for like a Mirror Enforcer, which seems to be on the horizon. But on the other hand, if they don't have any like other threats going forward, then maybe it's a good idea to counter this. No, I'll try and focus on the actual threats and hope that I can just kill them all. Then obviously now they know I have a counter spell because I just paused. But maybe counterspelling this Mirror Enforcer seems like a fine plan. Well, given that we drew another counterspell, I'm gonna hold off on this compulsive research for another turn. Since this might open up the avenue for us to cast compulsive research and mountain like red spell. I'll let that one resolve though. Nothing. It's possible that they're just trying to overwhelm me, which is, totally right of them to do. Can I get away with passing the turn here and not casting compulsive research? I mean, I really do need to hit some red sources and or assemble the combo. But on the other hand, if their hand isn't that great, then I can just counterspell something and then compulsive research the following turn. I think I'll just leave it. The double thoughtcast hand is quite good against what I've been doing so far. I mean, obviously, in like hindsight, counterspelling thoughtcast might have been great because their hand was just maybe it's full of these. But on the other hand, every time I've countered a thoughtcast before, it's being followed immediately by mirror enforcers and like frogmites into mirror enforcers, and then I feel sad. So yep, that was certainly a sequence of things. Ah, we still didn't hit. We're going to be like discarding 3 cards this turn. No, 2 cards. Well, we certainly don't need one of these ghostly flickers. The question is, what else are we binning? It could be just another ghostly flicker. Since we don't really need them right now. Like, I want to cast this Preordain next turn, and I want to like cast Drake into Muldrifter, so no, it's probably just this Firebolt since we can't cast any anyway. But not hitting a land there was quite brutal. They're going to do some wicked things to us now, I'm quite sure. Or maybe they just have their full deck of Prophetic Prisms and Ichor artifacts. But so this bill has like perilous researches and things, which isn't terrible. It further slightly raises the question as to whether I should stay on target and learn from my lesson from last time and board in some hydroblasts, since they seem to have like a bunch more things going on. I could board in my dispel perhaps, like if they're boarding in some stuff that punishes me, then dispel hits most of them, but it also hits things like perilous research. So I did that instead of playing Swift Water Cliffs, because we want to guarantee our 5th land. And I think the cliffs might be a bit slow this game. And I think we need basically all these spells and this land to win, so this has to go, even though I did want another red source. Maybe their hand is filled with flings. I mean, that would make sense. Maybe they've got some like spicy tech ready for this Drake. Perhaps another Drake. So this turn was okay, but like I say, they've got 5 cards in their hand. They've been like, casting perilous researches and that sort of thing. Like they're bound to have something good. Just many galvanic blasts. Like if they triple galvanic blast my creatures, I'll be pretty happy. I'm gonna snap block here. I mean, I know I have Ghostly Flicker, but I need to A, conserve my life total, and B, remove their creatures. So there we go. So I'll open up with Lightning Bolt, see if they do anything tricky. Now I get to take the Swift Water Cliffs and be okay with it. Still need that extra red source, and we're almost ready to lock up the game, I think. Let's see. I think I'll just take Counterspell, since it answers nearly everything, and I do have this Ghostly Flicker in hand. Time to get stuck in, I guess. Six cards in their hand. What's happening to me? Times like this, I sort of want a peek in my deck. Wow, that's something. I guess I'll discard the Seagate Oracle since it's not required. I guess I'll keep this Drake and discard one of these bolts because they're like the weakest removal. I mean, it feels weird, but whatever. I already have 2 Flame Slashes and another Lightning Bolt. Seven cards in hand? Seems like they got super flooded. But I'm still not trusting it as being exclusively related to flood. I mean, am I supposed to just go for it? Yeah, I do have like a counter spell, but I think I'd rather just wait till they try and do something, and then I can just go off with Ghostly Flicker. Since I have the Flicker, Arcanomancer, Drake in play. But if they've got like 2 lightning bolts or something in their hand, then it gets broken up. Whereas if I wait till they do something, then I can just control their stuff and then respond with Ghostly Flicker. And then basically it just cuts down on the amount of things they can have. If they're forced to deal with something, then I get to play my whole game at instant speed, and that's fine. Well, I am armed to the teeth with flame slashes. I mean, I know plenty of people would just, start comboing, and there's probably not that much they can do to stop me. But on the other hand, I don't need to do anything about it. Okay, so they're responding with fling here, so I can respond to that. Okay, I'll just, assuming nothing bad happens, I'll just edit this part out. Okie dokie. Unfortunately, forced to, full combo off there. A lot of people will, concede to save time since just, everybody knows what the combo is by now. Unfortunately, they didn't, so we need to mess around a little bit more. So this time I'm going to bring in some Hydroblasts since they have Flings, Galvanic Blast, and Atogs, like I should have done the first time probably. And what am I taking out? Well, on the draw, I'm thinking counter spells are a bit slow, and like Drake's compulsive research and Flicker, can clunk up our hand a little bit. So okay, let's try this. This hand seems semi-promising. 1 land, but got 2 Preordains. And if you draw into like a red source, it seems great. These are cards I want eventually, but not now. So if I don't draw a red source, things gonna look pretty dicey pretty fast. And I think I just want to hit some lands for a while. I mean, that Ghostly Flicker would be potentially useful. I don't think I want to play this Gorilla Shaman this turn since it can die too easily. And I want to get, at least a couple of LD effects out of it. Mirror Enforcer. Okay. Well, in that case, I'll Flame Slash here. Is it Boilworks? And get ready to Gorilla them shortly. Now, I could have played Gorilla Shaman and blew up both Tree of Tails there. But I figure I can maybe get them to play something I can kill with Firebolt first. Or at the very least, get another land out of the deal. Alright, I'm not greedy. I mean, obviously, I guess they could counter this somehow, which should be pretty sick. But no, let's destroy this Quake Furnace. A little bit of weirdness there. I had to turn off the auto yields since it decided that even though I had mana floating and an ability that cost 1, I noticed that F8 took over and started to try and pass priority there. So, gotta be careful with these things. Okay, I mean, that's not game over or anything. It's pretty good. You know, triple LDing them. And then you can probably blow it up now. But, you know, you know, wasted a lot of their time. Lets me get ready to cast some sweet spells. I think I want to get onto the board rather than playing compulsive research. Oh, these aren't that exciting. But an extra life is always welcome. At least I have plenty of things to discard to compulsive research. Wow, they're really going deep on these researches. Okay. Gonna blast that one. Oh, that's a deal. I might actually be returning that one with Archaeomancer next turn. Like, whenever they're trying to get into an attrition fight with us, it's usually good. It wasn't so great in the previous game, but... And we are sort of flooding. But that's okay, you know, because we had to use Is It Boilerworks. We've got tons of mana, we've got Archaeomancers. We did bottom a few spells earlier, because we needed to draw some lands, but we can quite happily stop now. Getting this countered would actually be fairly annoying. Like, maybe I could have held on a little bit longer. Maybe they're going to blast this, and we're happy to let me have a Archaeomancer. Nope. We are marching towards our inevitable endgame. Let's say we don't really need to combo them most of the time. Game 1 comboing's a bit better, but you know, game 2 we have even more ways to mess with our things and just draw cards, and it's fine. It's fine. No combos required. I also have like 9 minutes to do it. Like, I did basically the slowest combo possible last turn, since I, did a lot of stuff with things in the stack and nothing too exciting happening. Because, I only had like one Boil Works and had to go dig for another Archaeomancer with Seagate Oracle, which isn't the most timely of things. Let's cast this Drake. So I think their only real out at this point is to do some fling shenanigans. So I would quite like to draw into a counterspell or a blast. But if they counter this, they won't be able to fling or anything this turn either, so I can use some of my built up red mana to do bad things to their creatures. So we'll start with the Firebolt here. Then if they do something, I'll respond with the Lightning Bolt. I just want as many permanents as possible off the table. Would they like to sacrifice more things? I'd love them to sacrifice more things. I don't even care about the Mirror Enforcer, since I got all these. I mean, I guess they could technically be doing some sort of bizarro affinity Teamer Battle Rage shenanigans. That would be pretty sick, actually. That would show me who the boss is. Hmm. Now I will Flame Slash this Mirror Enforcer. There's probably a fling, maybe? Nope, they decided not to. It's fine though. Such research. I quite like it. Does mean you have to put quite a lot of these things in your deck though, so their version seems a bit more high on air compared to other affinity decks. But maybe they've just had. I mean, I know they definitely had a bit bad draw in the first game, but also this game maybe. Wow, well, the dual triple Thoughtcast turn reminds me of Standard. I'm pretty happy to draw this Hydroblast though. I think we're pretty safe now. You know, obviously they did just draw tons of cards, so maybe our face is not safe. But we have, as long as I don't, mess around too much, I think we're fine. I'll be a bit more aggressive in my F key pressing. Could have cycled this end of turn, but I just wanted to make sure I have mana up at all times. Looks like Muldrifters are gonna just do the job themselves. Cycle this. Cast this. I could play that, but I'm not going to. I want to keep up these 2 Hydroblast Counterspell on Lightning Bolt. Well, things should be fairly locked up here. I just have so many cards, I can just throw cards at everything at this point, and they'll be out of cards long before I am. And they'll be dead. Yeah, I'll just kill them this turn, I think. They're so low on resources, it's, you know, what can they possibly do? The thing with this deck is that you actually have like so many different options, and most of them will lead you to winning. It's easy to get, you know, overwhelmed with the amount of sweet things you've got going on. I don't even need to go infinite here or anything. I'll just, you know, get a bit of value before, you know, lightning bolting them in the face. Because if you're at, you know, the time where you can take your time, I suppose, you can always set up your kill so that it's pretty unstoppable by having like a counter spell or 2 in your hand. And I've got more than enough time to finish off the opponent here with just getting back some burn spells. I mean, I even have Fireball actually, I'll just cast that, it's a bit faster. Hooray!